and I mean, there's an element of how do you, I mean, you can't get angry, you have to educate, you have to, and the way you educate is by opening the market. The way you educate is through the internet. The way you educate is through showing examples, it's through engaging. And one of the things that I really hope to see from this conference is that the Arab market, but let's expand this to emerging economies in general, which include in many ways the Chinese market, the Indian market, and so on, is billions of people. And if you're looking for a market to engage in, instead of fighting each other for the piece of the pie that's here, if you start looking at these emerging economies and looking for creative ways to engage with them, which is what the internet offers, and in a sense that has never been allowed before, you are opening up a world of millions of people that could be potential customers, that could be potential content providers, that could be a community in which will enrich your own writing and way of thinking. And the concept of kind of last mile licensing, I think, is a really important thing that needs to be taken into account when looking at how to engage these emerging economies. Like, I don't have enough time to go into too many examples or what I think should be done, but last mile licensing is essentially saying, here's the content, and as long as you respect certain parameters that I've set, and you're free to set those parameters as you wish, it's up to you, the people on the ground, to make the marketing. It's up to the people on the ground to get it into the reader's hands, and that is the way to engage the economy. I get very frustrated sometimes in the UK and in the US, where often the barrier to dealing with our content is the lack of an ISBN. Right? The fact that there's not a standard number should not be a barrier to engaging. So I just wanted, that's what I would like you to all think about. And the other thing that I would like to kind of end on is that, I mean, as most of you know, Egypt and Tunisia is a state of turmoil. We have a state of turmoil in Yemen now. Syria is very afraid. Lebanon's having issues. So we are at, you know, this is a stage of change. You know, like, you know, this is, you know, when people say, "Where were you when Kennedy was shot?" Well, I was just an idea then, but you know, where were you when, you know, people always remember that. I mean, we should all always remember that in this time we were at this conference, and the point is that I'm trying to make is that one of the first things Tunisia did when they don't even have a new government in place, is that they removed the agency that censors. So they effectively shut down censorship. That's the first thing they did. They opened the doors for foreign imports, and they opened the doors for local writers to write what they want. And they started printing books that had previously been censored. This is a massive step forward, and hopefully we will see this replicated in the rest of the Arab world. And the other issue is that with what's going on in the Middle East, we're also seeing an opportunity to build a publishing industry anew in this particular area. And I just kind of wanted to put that in your perspective. The Western publishing industry has a lot of issues that are legacy issues. And if you had, you know, if I learned one Dutch word yesterday talking to the philosopher, openbaring, the apocalypse. So if the apocalypse were to occur, yeah, that's one thing I'll take away. If the apocalypse were to occur and only publishers were to survive, how would you rebuild the industry? You know, that's the question I would like to know. Anyway, thank you very much.